I want us to talk about relationships and specifically the sort of friends that you need in your life. This is to all the ladies. I hope you're tuning in. But fellas, of course, please do grab some nuggets from this conversation as well. And with us here on the show, we have Cynthia Wamboyo-Tieno. Karibu sana, it's been a while. I hope you've been well, though.
Yes,
Good,
thank you. It's
good.
good to be here.
Yeah,
It's good to be back.
I understand this is your first day out of the house.
It is, Joyce. It's
Hi.
my first day out. I feel like, yeah, Nairobi.
You forgot how
You
to
know, I
walk
forgot
in
how to-
shoes,
Ooh,
in heels.
I forgot how to wear heels. I was wobbling right in here. I was, oh, but I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, good, good. Now, I understand that last week you actually had like a Facebook Live
Yes.
about friends that
Yes.
every woman needs.
Yes.
Very interesting. And of course, we women, you know, we're very social beings.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about what inspired even that topic?
All right. I'm a relationship coach, as you know, and a pastor. I also coach and mentor women, being a woman myself. So one of the things that I do with my Facebook page is just have random conversations, just to intimately have a real authentic conversation with women. I'm raising daughters, 2 women in my house. So I had that in mind, the women that I'm bringing up, but also the woman that I am. And it was a reflection of the friends that I've had from my 20s, my 30s, and now in my 40s. And so what I thought about is during the reflection, let me tell you, COVID has the ability to give you time to evaluate. So come enter June, and the thought came into my mind, we are mid-cycle. It's time to evaluate what kind of friends do you have this season, and what kind of friends will you have intentionally. And so what I did is I put together a reflection or a conversation of the 4 friends every woman needs to have
Okay.
in whatever season.
So there's a category of 4 friends, or there's 4 categories.
Yeah, 4 categories of friends,
friends.
every woman needs.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm curious to hear this. Please take us through the first one.
Yes. I put them together in 4 C's just to make it easy for us to interact with the 4 women.
Okay.
And as I thought through the 4 women, you need to also place yourself as one of those women, because you're either a friend to
Yeah.
another woman, or you're seeking friends.
So what you want, you should also
You
be.
should also strive and pursue fervently
To be.
to
Yeah.
become that woman. So
Okay.
it's an evaluation. It's a twofold evaluation.
Right.
Who am I hanging out with, and am I also that type of woman? So the first woman that that I feel every woman needs to have, Joyce, is what we call a confidant. The confidant is a very interesting characteristic in terms of a woman, because she's a kind of woman that you need to have in your life because she's reliable. She's a kind of woman who's dedicated and who is striving to ensure that she sees the best out of you. She's a confidant. She's a kind of woman that does not want to compete with you. Okay? She's not here to compete or to try and get a in the space where it's competitive and
Right.
it's strife. The confidant is a prayerful woman. The confidant is a woman who says, you know what, I got you, and I've got your dreams. I understand your vision. And not only do I understand your vision, I see where you want to go.
Yeah.
And I will hold your hand and take you there.
Wow.
The confidant is also the kind of woman who actually decides, you know what? I will walk with you and ensure that you achieve your goals. So she gets to understand what your goals are and downloads them and says, this is who I purpose to be to you. All right? So it's very important for us to understand that the confidant is not just somebody that you tell your secrets. It's not about
Right,
secrets
right.
and downloading secrets, moshene sessions. No. That's not what I mean by confidant. Confidant is the one who hears, and hears more than what is said.
Wow.
Joyce.
So they should
hear.
be able to call you out.
They call you out, but that's the next woman. This one hears, and hears even what is it that Joyce really needs for this season.
Interesting.
How can I as your confidant pray you your next season?
Wow.
Let me tell you a woman in the Bible who was a confidant, Naomi. Think about it, Joyce. Naomi gave instruction of what the next season looks like. And she was able to recognize that this girl has potential. And because she has potential, she needs to do XYZ to get to where she needs to be. The confidant actually is able to be a visionary. She understands your vision, captures it, and says, can we work together and get you to where you need to be? It's almost like a mentor relationship.
Okay.
So that's the first woman. And I desire confidence in my life.
Yeah. It seems that they're hard to find, though.
It's very hard. It takes a lot of maturity.
Because if it's not just this Mushene club, yeah, it's beyond that. Like you're saying,
It's beyond that.
It's a very respected relationship. There's a lot of reverence for one another in that relationship for it to be that mentorship type role.
Yes.
And that seems really hard to find.
It feels really
And to
hard.
be.
It is, because it takes work. There's a lot of self-awareness. A confidant has to do self-work. She has to grow. She cannot be mediocre. She has to be the woman that has said, you know what, I download it from the Holy Spirit. I download who I am from God, that I can be secure, because sometimes the confidant is walking with a woman who is doing greater things.
Come on.
You know, that's right. And I will not compete with you because of where God has placed you in position. Mine is to pray you through and walk you through to your next destiny. That's what happened to Naomi and Ruth. And isn't that
That's deep. That's really deep.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I hope you guys are like, you're getting like flashbacks of all your friends just passing through your minds. And but even more so, and I love that this is a two-way thing.
Yes.
To also think if you are that person. Because
Yes.
sometimes in relationships, the truth is we become very selfish and we just want it
Yes.
for
I want to
ourselves.
take.
Yeah.
I
But
want
are
to
you
take.
also
Are
giving?
you a giver?
Yeah. Are
Yes.
you also confident to someone else? Wow. I cannot wait to hear the remaining three, but we need to take a break.
Okay.
22999 is the SMS. Aki, if you're a young girl, you better be watching this show right now, just for your own sake, my lord. And if you're a gentleman and you know a lady around you, make sure that she's tuned into the show as well. 22999 is the SMS line. Send us your feedback and your comments, and we'll be back after this. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. I'm here with Pastor Cynthia Mamboyo Otieno, who's literally just blowing my mind. I'm just like, wow, I can't wait. Like, I've never been this excited for like as someone else. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for number 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But we're talking about the types of friends that every woman needs to have.
Yes.
And she's categorized them into 4. And they're all starting with a C. And we began with the first one, which was confidant. And oh my lord. But let me just touch on some of the feedback that we have here. Someone here saying, hey Joyce, loving the show from Gatanga. Confidant friends are hard to get, but once you get them, you're good to go. That's Mercy. Thank you, Joyce, for the show. I love what Cynthia is saying. I need help. How can I get to talk to you, Cynthia? Please assist. That's Kate. She'll be sharing her contact details at the end of this segment. Clara, watching from Thika, says, talking of friends, how do you cut them out without hurting any of them? Maybe someone is already realizing, hey, we've not even gotten to the rest of the C's, but they already know Nikubaya.
Yes.
Maybe you'll address that too as we go along. Someone else says, getting genuine friends who will stand with you in this time and age is really tough, Joyce. Friends nowadays analyze you by how much money you have,
That's right.
where you come from, and what you do. Whatever happens to ladies supporting each other. This is so true. And just over the break, we were saying how a lot of women are hurting.
Yes.
Because women hurt women. It's men.
Yeah.
Of course, there's daddy drama and there's boy drama, but a lot of women hurt their fellow women, and it's just a sad state of affairs. But Carol from Kabati continues to say here, I'm so keen to learn about the type of friends I need, and I really like the show. Thank you guys for your feedback. Keep it coming into 22999. Wow.
Yes.
Can we go on to number 2?
Yes. I'm
Please.
so set. Now, the second woman, every woman needs to have, and what I'm talking about, Joyce, is a very intentional pursuit. It's not because of how cute they are. It's not because you saw them on social media and you want to follow them. This is a kind of woman, and I'll say at the end, how do you recognize or how do you pursue the kind of friends that I'm talking about? So we'll talk about that in the end. Now, the second woman is called the cheerleader. Think about this. This is a woman that has a pom-poms, puts on her little skirt and really cheers you on.
Yeah.
The cheerleader is someone who listens and has a way of showing empathy towards you. They have actually mastered the art of listening reflexively. They are the kind of listener that listen and listen without, what do you call? Some people just hear you. Okay, and have a response as when you're swallowing spit like this, they are ready to respond. You know, they are waiting for you to interject. That's not a listener.
Yeah.
They listen to understand. They will ask you questions so that they can actually get into your world and be able to understand what is it I need to help her and cheer her to her next level.
Wow.
So the cheerleader, their role is to celebrate your milestones. They are the sunny side of your friendship. This is a person that comes into your world, and every time they know, Joyce, oh my goodness, I saw what you did last week. You're the woman of the hour. And they're not just saying it for the saying's sake. They actually recognize where you were last week, when you were crying, when things were deep and down in the dumps. But this cheerleader has got this the gift of exhortation. God has given them the ability to call the things that are not as though they are. And they help you bath through the next position, the next milestone. They understand your value. Honey, they understand that, you know what? Joyce has the ability to take this nation. Because they hear you. They hear your dreams. They have sat with you and they have heard how you pray, and they have said, you know what? You can take this nation.
Wow.
And they've learned how to celebrate every milestone that needs to get you there. That's your cheerleader.
Wow.
Every woman needs that. You know what happens? Many times we have people who, whenever they see your milestone, they're the first ones to say, Joyce, you should have done this 7 times differently. You know, but no one, who is the one who comes in and says, you know what, I'm picking you up because I brought you a cupcake because you're the best thing that ever happened to this nation.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Let me give you an example of that. In the Bible, you see Moses in Exodus chapter 17. Moses is at he's at an elevated place, and there's a battle that is going on, and he's tired. He's tired. But these guys, these 2 men, Aaron and Hur, they actually recognize this guy is tired, but the battle is not yet done.
Right.
They understand that this guy is an anointed man of the hour, and he needs to be in an elevated place, and his hands raised up. Let's do this. Let's get him something to sit on. So they get a stone, and he sits on the stone. But they realize the guy is old and he's tired.
Yeah.
They then elevate his hands.
Hold them up.
They hold him up. And that means they're saying, you know what? Not on our watch will this battle go down, and we are here.
Right.
The cheerleader says, let me hold your hand up. Let me ensure that you win, because you're the woman who was set up to do this tonight.
Wow. Wow. Powerful.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's almost in the same way with the Bible, you know, with Moses and that example, holding his hand, they recognize that their success too was dependent on him completing his mission.
Exactly.
And so I guess that cheerleader is that person. They're not intimidated by your
They're
success.
not intimidated,
but they
they're not
recognize that
afraid.
you winning means I
we
win.
We win. It's called, it's tribe woman. That every time Joyce looks good on social media, every time the voice of the Lord is lifted through her lips, guess what? We win.
Yeah. Wow.
I have no business tearing you down. I have my business, and my assignment is it to be your cheerleader, to ensure that you win, because Team Woman wins.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
and it takes a lot of maturity.
Yeah.
It takes an awareness and intelligence that, you know what, I am not here to compete with Joyce. I'm here to complement her gift. So I need to recognize what areas can I stand in with Joyce, so that then I can compliment her and cheer her to her next level. And sometimes the confidant and the cheerleader are seasonal people.
That's right.
They may be here for a season, but they are supposed to accomplish what God had set them to accomplish. So do not stand in the way of your cheerleader and tell them, oh no, you know, yeah, they're here on assignment. Step back and allow them to perform what God has positioned them to perform.
And that's a very important point, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in this idea of loyalty, that you're with me, you know, rain or sunshine, my ride or die.
Yes.
So that if I'm doing bad, you're going to be the one doing badder with me.
Hey.
But that's not necessarily what it is. And,
Yeah.
and also understanding that sometimes these relationships are seasonal, like you're saying.
Yes.
And there's a danger to us sort of forcing people into our lives when they're not supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Right? Like if they've overstayed their usefulness,
Yes.
as far as the assignment, that could actually be problematic.
It can. I remember the first time I encountered my confidant, I was 18 years old. I had been, my mom was so worried about me, Joyce. She was so scared because I was hanging out with the wrong crew and I was talking back and I was doing all these weird things. My mom got really scared. And so she said, you know what? She approached a young woman in our church who was in the university at the time, really, really amazing lady. And she became my confidant and coach. So I'll talk about the coach in a minute. And what happened is that she didn't come in and say, oh, by the way, you've been acting up. Do you know what she did? She walked with me. So let me tell you the third character that you need in your life.
Yeah.
She's called the coach. She's a blend of the cheerleader and the confidant, and she comes in with this. She's a coach because she becomes your mentor. She asks you the right questions. Do you have people who ask you the question and you're like, that's deep?
Yeah.
She asks you the right questions. Let me tell you, she will ask you, where do you plan with whatever you told me today? Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months?
This is your friend asking.
Yes. And I'm an 8-year-old and I'm like, huh? I don't see myself anywhere. And she began to throw in thought-provoking questions. She did not question what I was doing, but she started to bridge the gap where she sees potential and what I need to be thinking. So the coach asks the right questions. They have a balance of listening, but also getting you to understand the big picture. They understand the big picture. The big picture is that you're a woman of God, and this is who you're going to become. You're going to go to college and you're going to do this. So she understands the project, she understands the vision, and she begins to ask you the right questions.
Wow.
What are you dreaming about? Tell me about the dreams that you have as a young woman. What do you desire deeply? And let me tell you something. This young woman, her name is Emily, began to walk with me. She loved me. I remember being a little flower girl in her wedding, and I had no idea. She confessed this to me over 15 years ago. I'm a woman in my mid-40s. She told me much later that, you know what, your mom approached me because she was so afraid for you. She was so afraid you're getting lost. Let me tell you something. God allows that. God will send intentional friends. And I'm very big on intentional friends because I believe that there are people who will come and bridge the gap in your life and take you to your next level.
Wow.
So that's what the coach is. The coach believes in you.
Yeah.
They believe in what you are about to birth, and they
Okay.
speak into your life.
So we've had the confidant,
Yes.
the cheerleader,
Yes.
and now the coach.
The coach. Now, the last one, this one is a little dicey.
Okay.
Joyce, this one is a bit dicey.
A little spicy.
Yes, this one is your critic.
Oh, we need them.
Yes, honey, we need them. We need the critics. Let me tell you something. Joyce. If you want to go to your place of elevation, ensure you have a critic in your life.
That's right.
In your place of elevation. Critics are essential, and I mean an intentional critic. Have somebody in your life who actually calls you bluff.
So this critic is someone you've actually invited into your life.
Yes. This is your friend.
Not just those people on social media.
No. Those ones are not your friends. Those are not your friends. They don't have vested interest in you.
So this
They're
is someone
coming
you
to tear
actually
you down.
bring in.
This is your friend. This is somebody, and possibly they've been a coach, okay?
Yeah.
But they've turned critic. And I'll tell you what this is. The critic interrogates your thought process.
Hey.
The critic is in your life because they understand the big picture. They're like, you see, these other three are very similar, but the critic is not afraid to interrogate your thought process and tell you that's not enough. That's not enough, Cynthia. That's not good enough. They actually move you from the place of pain to passion, from the place of mediocrity
To excellence.
To excellence.
Come
You
on.
need a critic. Let me tell you about my critic.
So it's not a negative thing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Remember, she's here in your life to see the best out of you. She's
Right.
not those people who come and say, oh, you did that. You talked to your husband like that. Oh, no. Joyce, get yourself together. That's not who you are. You understand? So the critic actually interrogates your actions and your behaviors, and they ask you the right questions. Now, let me tell you of a relationship I have with one of my critics, and let me tell you, I love her. I called her after I had the Facebook Live, and I was crying, and I was telling her, I just remembered I still need to thank you for pushing me from the place of comfort zone to what I'm doing today. So I was working a job, okay? And I always called her. She's still a coach, an amazing coach. And every time I would call her, and I would tell her, hey, by the way, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm planning to do with the mentorship for girls and all that. And I always had these bright ideas, but I never moved to action. I never moved. And one day she told me, Cynthia, nonsense. Let me tell you something. I am tired of hearing your dreams that never come into fruition. So this is what you're going to do. From today henceforth, don't call me until you've put your action plan together.
Wow.
If not, I will charge you top dollar
Hiya.
for every call you call me without
Yeah.
an answer. Let me tell you, I thought, who does she think she
The
is?
nerve.
Remember, she's my friend.
Right.
How does she think she is? And let me tell you something. I went home and thought about it. Of course, I cried. I thought about it, and I called her and I told her I have the plan. And she prayed for me.
Wow.
And she said, excellent. Now, I want to see, what are you doing next? Okay, this is blunt. And she's truthful. I needed a truth teller. I needed somebody who's not going to say, oh, you're amazing. Another truth teller, another critic I have in my life is my husband. And this is amazing because people ask me, your husband? Yes. Whenever I stand in the pulpit or I prepare a message, my husband has to listen to it first.
Wow.
And he'll tell me,
Yeah, nah.
no. I think there, umeongeza chumvi, ama, no, this is flesh.
Yeah.
He is such an amazing critic. If not, he'll be sitting at the back and he listens to me and he's the first person to tell me, that was excellent, or maybe you should do this in the next service.
Right.
I listen to his feedback. Why? Because I know he's got my back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think quarantine did you good. Hey! Oh my Lord.
Amen.
Wow. It was like a sabbatical.
It
It was like a sabbatical.
of reflection.
That is absolutely powerful.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And if you guys want to hear more of these type of topics, please do let us know. 22999. I have a lot of feedback in like zero time. Let me just try and get through as many as I can. Carol from Nakuru saying, I'm loving the show. I started ruling out my friends at 18 years old when I joined campus. Some ladies don't like me. Some say Nikona Maringo, but I don't care. I choose my association wisely. Another says, hey Joyce, thank you for bringing Cynthia to talk about friends. Last week, I've been praying for loyal friends in my life, yet I'm learning so much from your show. That's Shay from Embu. Valerie says it's good to discuss the friends that we should have rather the ones that we should not have, although even that is important. Even banks study the real money to detect the counterfeit ones. I'm learning that we should evaluate our friendships and relationships in general with truth and virtue. Hi Joyce, I'm Joyce from Changamwe. Hey namesake. And you say it's hard to get a friend who will stand with you all the time, but once you get them, you're good to go. And I think that the thing that's coming out of this conversation with you, Cynthia, is this idea of we all want to say mtu mwenye atasimama na mimi, like
No
rain
matter
or
what.
sunshine. And maybe that's the wrong thing to be
Yes.
looking for. That's what
Yes.
I'm taking away from this
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. So another person here just says, hey Joyce, I'm 20 years old and I just want to thank you because Full Circle has taught me what I couldn't get from anyone. Wow. So thank you and God bless you. God bless you too, my dear. Asante sana for that. Someone is saying, hey, please ask Cynthia this for me. I feel like I have no friends at all, can only point out one. Is something wrong with me? In like 30 seconds, if you could address that question, but also how then we bring in, or maybe even first attract, these 4 types of ladies into our lives.
It's interesting that she asked that question. The first thing every woman needs to be is a friend to herself.
Right.
So before you seek out friends, and if you feel that you do not have friends, that should not worry you. Become that friend to yourself.
Yeah.
Begin to grow and develop self. Begin to actually study the Word of God and look at relationships in the Bible. That the Word of God has so many friendships that were deep, meaningful, and purposeful relationships. Begin at that center. Number 2, seek after purpose. Understand the purpose of a thing through the relationships you're going to yield with your friends, and then become that. And then find peace in knowing that not everyone is going to be your friend. You go through different seasons. Allow the different seasons of life to happen.
Yeah.
We are social beings. We grow, we mature, and allow the season and the cycle of life to happen.
Wow.
And that's what will be required of you.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. For the one who was asking how they can reach you, and for many others who'd love to get in touch with you and maybe follow what you're doing, how can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Cynthia Wamboyi Otieno, Love Life Relationship Coach. You can like my page, and you can also get me on my profile, Cynthia Wamboyi Otieno.
Great.
Yes.
Cynthia, umerudi na moto.
Wow. Has done me well.
I love it. Thank you so
Thank
much. This has been a
you.
fantastic conversation. I think one that all of us really need to pay attention to. And gentlemen, I hope you've been paying attention to. I think these apply to the men
Yes, it
just
does.
as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Hey, we're almost finishing this circle for the day. We're now going to jump into weight loss. And Dennis is going to be joining us in studio. We're going to catch up with him, see how his week was, and of course, do our weight check-in on his journey to lose weight here on the show. Stay tuned. This is Full Circle with Joyce.